All right, let's call the meeting to order. As part of calling to order, we will do our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge we are gathered on Treaty 1 and Treaty 2 territories, and Manitoba is located on the treaty territory and ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, Anishinaabeg, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, Iote, Denisulian, Ojibwe, and Nahotoy. We acknowledge Manitoba is located on the homeland of the Red River Métis. We respect the spirit and intent of treaties and treaty making and remain committed to working in partnership with First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people in the spirit of truth, reconciliation, and collaboration. The first order of business is to adopt the agenda as presented with the order to be altered as required. I understand that there is an item to add, 9.7. 9.1, pardon me. First reading of a bylaw. We're all in favor of adding that to the agenda. Great. Everyone's in favor of that. Is there anything else to add or delete from the agenda at this point? Sorry, I'm getting you trying to do multiple things at once here.
That's okay. Oh, good.
All right, we have a mover for the agenda to be adopted as presented and altered. Councillor Maxwell with motion, seconder, Councillor Brown. Call for the question, all in favor? Motion carried, adoption of the agenda goes. We could have a motion to confirm the council minutes for July 21st. Councillor Drohan with the motion, seconder, Councillor Brown. Any discussion around the minutes from July 21st? Seeing none, we call for the question. All in favor? Motion is carried. And item 3.2, minutes, motion regarding the minutes for public hearing minutes from July 21st. Call for the motion. Councillor Brown moving, Councillor Drohan seconder. Any discussion around those public hearing minutes? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Motion carried. We'll move into public hearings. So if we could have a motion for the first public hearing. Councillor Maxwell, seconder on that. Councillor Brown, seconder of the first public hearing motion. Call for the question. All in favor, moving into public hearing. Motion carried. 4.11 is a review and application notice, CU 1126-C and BO 0626-C. And so if we could have any information from Keystone Planning District presented, please.
The applicant is here as well.
Applicant is here as well, excellent.
So this is a variation and a conditional use as part of a subdivision for them to be completed. So the variation is to decrease the site size in the Ag 80 from 80 acres to 67.36. And the conditional use is to allow for a non-farm dwelling in the Ag 80 by way of subdivision.
Okay. Any other questions from council table to our Keystone Planning District Representative Karina tonight? All right, seeing none, if you can state your name, sir, and write it down there and tell us a little bit of what you're doing.
My name is Murray Moran, and I don't have need for the yard site, so I have decided that I want to subdivide the yard site off from the rest of it. I use the rest of it for pasture. I own the adjoining 80 acres or the rest of the quarter. So that's what I want to do. Yep. And basically that's what I'm asking for here.
Very simple, straightforward subdivision.
Yep, absolutely.
And so just make sure that there's that information.
Okay.
Is there any questions of council to Mr. Moran?
Sure, relatively very straightforward.
Yep. Okay, do you have any other questions for us about the intent of your application, sir?
Like as far as what, so being conditional on what conditions or?
Did it to go ahead to that, but it would be basically it meets the zoning, or not, yeah, it meets the zoning, and that if there's any renovations going to be done to the house or anything, the proper permits have to be pulled. Those are the
Right.
kind of conditions.
Yeah, there won't be like any renovations going on in the near future, but
Yeah, when they say condition, that's the kind of conditions that we
Okay.
don't want to hand
like
out,
I did
a
notice
subdivision.
there was a distance as far as another dwelling in a certain amount, what is it?
I don't think it is. However, I do know that in the Ag 80,
Yeah.
You are only allowed one dwelling
Right.
on each individual property.
Right.
In the subdivision where you have gone to pasture land,
Yeah.
If you so deem to put another dwelling on that property,
Right.
again, you would just need the required permits to do that, and it would be fine.
Okay, well then it's not an issue.
Excellent. So is there anyone else here to, thank you, sir. Is there anyone else here to speak in favor of this subdivision application?
No.
Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Brown. And is there anyone here to speak against or express concerns against the
I have
application?
not been notified.
All right, no other questions from council on this? All right, so we got a motion to move out of public hearing then. Councilor Brown with the motion and Councilor Johan, seconders. Call for the question, all in favor, to move out of public hearing? Motion carried.
Brown and who?
Brown and Drohan, sorry.
Thank you.
All right, so I will read the motion. The resolution, whereas Murray Moran, and Michelle Davy have applied for a conditional use order for a non-farm dwelling on Northwest 08-10-17 WPM within the Ag 80 general zone, and whereas council has held a public hearing to hear representation in favor and in opposition to the application, be resolved therefore in consideration of any representation made at the hearing and of the application itself, the council hereby approves the application as submitted and authorizes the conditional use order number 11-26C be issued, subject to the following conditions: that this conditional use is limited to what has been presented in this application. Any further changes, replacements, or additions would require a new application, and that the applicant or owner obtain all required permits from the KPD and the municipality if required. Call for that motion. Councilor Maxwell, seconded by Councilor Drohan. Any discussion around the motion? No, seems pretty straightforward, well intended, suits within the spirit of the area. All right, so call for the question. All in favor? Motion carried unanimously, and resolution and conditional use passes. And we need to do the variance order as well, correct? Is that on that one, or is that on the next public hearing? My apologies. Too many public hearings in a row here. Sorry, is there a second? There's a variance there that we
Yeah.
require, yes. Okay. So the second motion required for this is whereas an application for variance order 0626C is received for the property located at Northwest 08-10-17 WPM, to have a non-farm dwelling on the property, and whereas under the provisions of the Planning Act, a public hearing has been held to hear representations both for and against the application, therefore be resolved that after careful consideration, Councilor Arnold Cornwallis hereby approve the variation order 0626C with the following conditions. The variance is limited to what has been presented in the application, and further changes, replacements, or additions would require a new application, and if the applicant or owner obtain all required permits from KPD and the municipality if required. I call for that motion. Councilor Maxwell with the motion, Councilor Brown second. Discussion and any input from KPD as part of that discussion?
This is for conditional use 1026C.
No variation order.
The variance order to go with 1126C.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I have no concerns.
Okay, any other further discussion? It's hand in glove with the conditional use application that we just passed. All right, seeing no questions or discussion, call for the question. All in favor? Motion is carried. And now for two, we have a motion to call the next public hearing into order. Councilor Brown, motion. Councilor Ryan seconding. All in favor of moving to public hearing? Motion carried. This is for application notice CU 10-26C. And get out a presentation from Keystone Planning District regarding this one.
Okay, so this is a conditional use to allow for a plumbing business in the Ag 80. There's accessory structure on the land. There's no dwelling. So strictly just to run a plumbing business on his piece of land.
Okay, any questions for our KPD representative regarding this? All right, is there anyone here to speak in favor of this application?
The
Going forward,
applicant is
sir?
here.
You just state your name and write it down there for us, and then outline your intent here, your plans.
My name is Travis Hofer, and I am the owner of First Call Plumbing and Heating. I just wrote down some things to help me remember. We originally bought the property in question for the purpose of running the business out of the outbuildings that are on the property. And so some things about the company is that we're a full-service plumbing and HVAC company, employing 11 team members, helping them support their families. We offer various services such as service, repair, plumbing and HVAC equipment, new construction, some commercial work, as well as small concrete work, patching backwater valves and stuff that we help with flooding in people's homes. Our company, all of our technicians are trustworthy and people allow us to work in their homes. We take that very seriously. All of our technicians are, we make sure that there's honesty, there's no theft, that they treat everyone's property like their own. The reason for the request for the conditional use is that we bought this property due to its location in Brandon and the surrounding communities. We have contracts with the Government of Canada, with CFHA, Haven Forces Housing Authority in Shiloh. So we're there every single day in people's PMQs, servicing, repairing things. What we want to do with this property is to use the building as our home base. So what I mean by that is that our office, our tools, and our supplies are housed in that shed. And our technicians load their vans or trucks in the morning, and they go to the various locations to serve the community. We're not doing plumbing work on site. For the most part, it's in people's homes with emergencies and new construction and commercial. So we respectfully ask for the approval of this conditional use so that we can keep serving our customers in the RM and beyond.
Excellent. Any questions around the table? Mr. Hofer?
How big do you anticipate are you building a shop?
No, it's there. There is that shed, so we're just repurposing it, using it for basically warehouse and shop and such.
I couldn't get a sense of how big the shed is.
It is 202 by 73.
So it's not insulated?
Part of it is spray foamed.
Okay,
It was originally used as a horse riding arena.
okay.
And so there's just this fine sand at the bottom that they used to just do laps with horses. And
You mentioned there'll be no retail sales out of this location at all? It'll
I
just,
do not know. No. We do everything online. People ask us to come do quotes for hot water tanks, furnaces, all those sorts of things. We're not housing equipment. Come look at this. No.
yeah, a future use, do you think in the future that could be
I
possible?
know. It would be inefficient.
No more questions from Mr. Hofer, but I do have a comment for KPD, and I brought this up at the last meeting. I can read a map, but to me, this is on the moon. I don't know. I don't have any reference where this is located in the municipality.
Okay.